Hey, it's Scotty, and I'm here with BB. And before we talk about air fresheners, diffusers, any aromatherapy, and guinea pigs, I just want to say thank you to everybody who sent the well wishes for BB. He was in the hospital for the last couple days, but he's home now, he's recovering, and he's doing pretty good. So I'm going to put him to bed right now. Well, he's just going to hang out over here, and let's get into it. So not surprisingly, I do get this question a lot. Can my guinea pigs be near scented candles, aromatherapy, incense, those plug-in air fresheners and diffusers, things like that? So let's get into it. Let's talk about that because there are different considerations for each of these. And something to think about is whether you can or can't. Is it going to be in your guinea pig's best interest, and is it something that you need? So let's talk about candles. Can you burn candles near your guinea pigs? Well, I did a little research, and Suffolk Candles Company says yes, you can burn candles near your guinea pigs, but there are some things that you need to consider. Wow, look at these wings. Wow, baby. Whoosh. So when it comes to burning regular candles, you want to pay attention to what the candles are made out of. Natural ingredients like beeswax or soy wax or palm oil is okay, but paraffin wax, when it is burned, contains chemicals that can be harmful to your piggies. So you want a candle that has natural ingredients. They also said that you want your candle to have a low burning point. Now, I'm not exactly sure how you're going to tell which candles have a low burning point and which candles don't. So maybe you want to reach out to that company and figure out how you can tell what that means. Another thing to consider is that whatever candles you're burning, you want them to have a wide base because they'll be harder to tip over and start a fire. So whether it's harmful or not what's going into the air, all candles can be harmful if they catch on fire. So definitely you want to prevent fire if you're going to burn some kind of a safe candle near your guinea pigs or anywhere in your house. But let's talk about scented candles. So scented candles, no. You don't want to burn any candles that have scents that are putting chemicals that are supposed to have a flavor or an aroma into the air. So no scented candles. Now, I guess the whole point of asking this question is what kind of scented things can I have around my guinea pigs? And basically, as we'll see here, you want to be very careful anytime you're introducing any chemicals that have aromas or scents in the air near your piggies. That also goes for perfumes. If you have a perfume that makes people around you, makes their eyes water, makes them sneeze, then it's probably not going to be safe for your piggies. A strong scented perfume might be best left for when you go out or when you're not going to be around them. And holding your piggies when you are wearing a very strong perfume is just not a good idea. Incense. Well, incense must be lit, right? There's incense sticks, there's those little cones, there's a bunch of different types of incense. They all put smoke into the air, not just aromas and scents, but also actual smoke. So you want to keep that away from your piggies, and you want to keep pretty much all smoke away from your piggies. No smoking. If you have a fire in the fireplace, obviously the flue should be open, but anything that's causing smoke is not a good idea. Aromatherapy. So aromatherapy, does it use essential oils? Is it putting oils and chemicals into the air? Now, those oil diffusers are also not a good idea because actually those oil molecules will float around in the air. They'll end up on your guinea pig's fur, and that can be bad for them. They could lick those chemicals off of their fur when they're grooming themselves. And anything that's putting particles into the air that are going to end up on your piggies is not a good idea also. Let's talk about air fresheners. If it's an air freshener that you spray into the air, obviously those chemicals, those ingredients are going to come down and land somewhere, and that's not safe around your piggies. And if you're talking about those plug-in air fresheners, the same thing. They are plugged in, and what's happening is whether there's a wax or whether there's an oil, they are releasing chemicals into the air through heat and through evaporation. So you want to avoid those. Anytime you're using anything that's putting a scent into the air, you want it to be out of the way of your piggies, in the other room. You could probably get away with doing it in your house, but not near where your piggies are. If you can smell it near them, then those chemicals are reaching them. You just want to avoid it. So let's back up here for a second. Why are we trying to use these things? Now, when I was a kid, we had scented candles that were burned in the kitchen. You know, there'd be like a pumpkin pie one or some other kind of a flavor that were just burned during the holidays. Now, I kept my piggies in my room, and so that was never a problem. And if you want to burn a scented candle somewhere, like I said, just make sure that it's out of the way from them. But if you want to use air fresheners or scented candles or these other things to cover up a smell, then take a step back and let's say, how can we actually reduce these smells to begin with? The first culprit would be these cages themselves. People sometimes will say, oh, guinea pigs are stinky, and that's not been my experience at all. Guinea pigs, they keep themselves pretty clean, except for, you know, older pigs that might have mobility issues, but generally piggies are very clean, and when you pick them up, they should smell good, except for maybe their stinky pockets. But generally speaking, piggies shouldn't smell bad, and their cages should not smell bad. So maybe you have unrealistic expectations about how often you need to clean your cage. Maybe you're not using the bedding the proper way. So the bedding that I recommend, especially for smelling good, would either be kiln dried pine or aspen wood bedding. Those are wood shavings or fleece. Now, for a regular sized cage with a thick amount of wood shavings, you should be able to get away with cleaning that cage once a week, and it might start to stink after about day 5. So spot cleaning, things like that, can go a long way to help manage that. I don't like the paper bedding because it's extremely expensive and it tends to get stinky pretty fast as soon as it gets wet and soiled. So I'd stick with the pine shavings. But what I have exclusively here is fleece. And what I love about fleece is that you should be cleaning it every day. You should be cleaning it every day or every other day. And if you layer it in such a way where you've got the smallest pieces, you know, maybe a 1x2 grids or a 2x2 in the areas that get the most soiled, you can roll them up, shake them out into a trash can, put them in the laundry basket and wash them, and replace them instantly with a fresh one without having to scoop all that wood shavings. So that's what I like to do. I can clean a bunch of these cages here in the same amount of time that it would take to clean one cage out that was filled with pine shavings. So I really like to use fleece. And then of course, instead of throwing all that stuff away in the garbage, you are washing. If you have access to a laundry washing machine or a laundry room where you live, that might be a really great way to always have a clean cage. Man, and if I had 1 or 2 cages, you know, it's really no big deal. It takes no time at all to change the fleece, to shake it out, to put it in the laundry basket. And when you have enough for a load of laundry, then you just wash it. So I would say that if you think that the piggy room or wherever your piggies are is stinky, maybe you need to reevaluate your the way you are cleaning the cages, your whole regimen. So I have a little bit more information on that in my guinea pig care guide. There is a whole cage setup section, and I go into all sorts of details about using fleece, using pine shavings, how much work it really is. So check that out. If you have some other tips and tricks on how to keep your cages clean, I'd love to see them in the comments. I'd love to continue to learn from your experience. And if you've had some maybe negative experiences with either air fresheners or incense or something like that that affected your piggies, or you've heard of somebody that had a negative experience, please also share that in the comments. That way we can all learn from each other's experience and mistakes, and so that we won't all continue to make those same mistakes. And I will put right here is a video about how to do fleece correctly, and here is a video about the difference between using fleece and using pine shavings and how much work it really is. So I hope you will benefit from those videos, and until next time, thanks for watching.